Mrs. Tashika
Yes, and Mrs. Okosi, that's fine.
I am so excited to be speaking with Mrs. Tashika McBean Okosi today. Tashika is a mother of two, a lawyer, and an author who's working on a book about parenting. She is also one of the loyal supporters of the Caddy Club project. So today, I'm going to talk to Tashika a little bit about her work, about parenting, and about the Caddy Club. Welcome, Tashika.
Thank you. Woo!
I
I'm
am so
so
excited.
excited.
Me too, girl. So big up where you're from. Where you from?
Well, I am from Linden, Guyana, so a fellow Caribbean girl.
Guyana in the house.
Exactly, but I've been living in the United States for a long time, but I still have my Caribbean roots. So I always love the Caddy Cup. I love what you guys do over there, and so I'm always here to support.
Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Tell me, why did you decide to become a patron of the Caddy Club?
I decided to be a patron because one thing I found very unique about the Caddy Club was that it featured characters with the Caribbean accent. And that's something that we didn't see. Like I didn't see that growing up. And I think it was very a unique feature of the Caddy Club. The stories, the jokes, the inside jokes, the Caribbean jokes that we know of that's featured on the show as well. So I think, I just love the fact there was something authentic Caribbean based stories that we can relate to, right? Characters that we see in our own families. And so I had no choice but to support the Caddy Club.
Well, thank you again for making that choice. So, how old are your kids?
My two children, two boys. One is 2 years and like 5 months, and the other one is 1 year and 2 months. So they're two under two.
Okay. So, did they get to see any of the pictures or videos or songs from the Caddy Club?
Yes, sometimes I let them see some of the clips, and they're familiar with the show. I
I
want
saw a, I saw a video
yes,
of one of the kids watching some Caddy Club stuff.
yes. I think I sent that to you.
I mean, he seemed into it.
No, I mean, I think the vibrancy of the characters, the familiar tones because I have a Caribbean accent still, so those familiar tones, it kind of, catches their attention. So, I have to keep the roots going there.
Lovely. So let me ask you this. Do you think that you and your family would want to see the movie when it comes out?
Of course, our tickets are bought. We're coming to like this, people. No, like we are ready to like support as much as we can, like just to see a full length feature, right, of these characters that we've been following throughout the years and have a full length feature, I think is going to be, we're waiting to see it.
Okay. And I know your kids are a bit young, but were you able to read any of the ebooks to them?
Not yet, but I'm definitely going to start. I'm
I think
definitely going to start.
I
Because
find
it, because now they're in actually I've actually the 2 year old he actually I have a small library for him, which I'm gonna have to print it out and put it in the library. He actually goes, he picks up the books and he goes through it by himself. So I think that's another thing I'm gonna actually add to the I missed that, but I'm definitely gonna add it.
he's getting to that age, like that around 3 or so, they start to be picking up those literacy skills.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, I'm definitely gonna add that to the collection.
So the ebooks are definitely designed for older readers, like I would say 4 plus. But what we encourage people who have younger kids to do is to read to the kids because they're never, as you know, they're
Yes.
never too young to be read to. And there's a comprehension exercise that you can do orally where you
Mhm.
like talk about what you just read and or what they just heard. And so they're never too young to get into it. It just will require a little bit more of, the parent taking an active role.
Yeah, I mean that we read all the time to the children, and so we're definitely gonna add this to the bunch of things that we do.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
No, we're Caddy Club fans in this house, so you know, as you I don't know, like even like some because some people put like pictures on their birthday cakes and stuff like that of their favorite characters. Even that we're planning to do, and it's not hopefully not copyrighted, but we.
No, definitely do it and send me
And
pictures.
even like, one thing I would encourage, like, the stuffed toys, like all the gamut of like products that they could definitely grow into, like even have all these things that we're hoping to see with the Caddy Club as I know you're thinking about this as well, but we're always here to support as we can, as much as we can.
I appreciate that so much. So talk to me a little bit about your family's identity as an African, Afro-Caribbean family.
Mhm.
Where's your husband from?
My husband is from Nigeria, so
Mhm.
I picked one of the best on the continent.
Whoop, whoop. Big up
And
Nigeria.
he's from the continent. He's very cultured. So one thing I love about being in an Afro-Caribbean relationship is that, and this is personal reflection, but the things that we would have lost from that horrible slavery experience, we don't like Black women, we don't know that much about our heritage, right? And it's always a longing to go backwards and see where you're from and learn about the food and the dress and the language, right? So I think, look, I think I intentionally gravitated to someone from the continent to kind of bridge that hole that I was missing. And my husband and his entire family, they're very strong in their cultural traditions. And I think it kind of nicely matched what I was searching for in terms of this having this dynamic Afro-Caribbean cultural, experience, especially for the children. Like the children will be so well versed in not just African, Nigerian culture, but also this Caribbean, South American, and make their lives so much more richer. Like the food, different foods, again, there's like six races, six cultures, six traditions, all that comes from, my side of family. And then you have this authentic African side of family where there's the language and the tribal customs and the fabrics and the spices. And it's just a beautiful so to me it's a nothing but a plus. You know me, I was like encourage these interracial, intercultural mix and mingling. It just makes your life that much more fulfilling. Now I have so many places to visit and call home, like, coming from an ancestry that had slavery, being able to connect back to the continent that we were stolen from. That is huge. So actually, we're hoping to travel back to Nigeria soon, and I think I might shed a tear, like going because the thing is, we don't know which part we're from, right? And my father did say that, I know how he knew it, but he said, our African ancestry is from Nigeria. So in a way, I kind of brought the family back to the core, right? And so he was excited about that. And just to be there and put my foot down on the earth where my ancestors were from, even that region, it's going to be huge. Because think of it, like I have blood relatives running around somewhere in Africa that I don't know because of that horrific slavery that occurred there. So I'm just it's a very a great thing.
I agree. I agree. And I don't want to spoil anything for you and the family, But just so you know, part of the Caddy Club story does involve one of the characters touching back on African soil in a
Hey.
sort of metaphoric kind of way. Like, like you were introduced to the whole ancestral realm where they have all these magic beings. We
Uh-huh.
we really try to strengthen that connection to our African ancestry through the story.
Mm-hmm.
So later on in the story, there is a point at which the ancestral realm becomes Africa. And
Wow.
so yeah, so that's something that I
That's
think
perfect.
your family would appreciate.
Definitely that because that's gonna bring it so much more relatable, right, to the children. Because now, we think these children are young and they know so much. You'll be surprised how much they can grasp in terms of concepts and so I'm now I'll definitely you better fly me out to do that.
Y'all have VIP tickets where however this thing goes, y'all gonna have VIP tickets to be able to see this movie because you are part of the Caddy Club family now, whether you like it or not. And so you're gonna get the family treatment.
Of course, we're definitely gonna be there.
So, Mrs. Akosi,
Yes.
you are also a legal expert. You
Yes.
are a lawyer, and you practice in.
Immigration, family law, some criminal law, but mostly my practice currently is immigration law. I do a lot of currently I do many things. I mean, I have my main job is engaged in defending religious freedom for persecuted Baha'i community in certain countries. And I also have a legal practice, but currently is focused on a lot of pro bono work because my main job takes up most of my time. Um, and so we do a lot of work, primarily my clientele are men who are victims of domestic violence. We don't really hear much about those cases. And sometimes men don't even want to admit to these things, right? And so currently my practice works with men who are victims of domestic violence and help them to get immigration benefits for that. But I also do a lot of work in regards to employment, immigration and work.
Lovely. And so, what's your website?
McBeanaCoSeLaw.com.
If you are looking for legal services in the realm of immigration, please do consider working with Mrs. Okosi. She's an extremely qualified professional, and she is a compassionate lawyer who will definitely put her heart and soul and expertise into your particular case.
Yes, I will. I definitely, I use law as a tool to provide hope to people who may seem their situation might make them feel hopeless. So I think law is a way to bridge your reality to some level of hope. And that's what I try to do in my practice.
That is a beautiful thing.